Welcome. We come to you from Chennai's Marina Beach, the go-to place in this summer and in the evenings for every Chennaiite. We have in fact here a small group of audience, very representative of the youth as well as of different thoughts that perhaps lie underlying in everyone's minds. As a voter, what are you going to be doing? Because the election commission is saying that everyone should go for votes, should go for 100% voting.
Yeah, actually I prefer to vote for Nota because I'm not interested with any other parties. Like both the DMK and ADMK was like the Dravidian parties have more corruption, and on the other side, other third frontier, I'm not feeling comfortable with them because they won't. I don't think they will be a strong party. So other two parties are not.
One more youngster, what are your thoughts?
I think I'm definitely going to vote because over the years we've seen a lot of bullying by political parties, right from the posters, stickers, tattooing, and it goes up to the extent of all their meetings and how they bully people during that time. I think I'm definitely going to exercise a vote because I want to oppose these things. I think they're not right to leaving out bigger problems like corruption. Bullying people is a bigger problem. So I think
bullying is a big problem. I have in fact someone here who opposed this kind of a bullying that happened, Chandra Mohan. He went in fact to jail, became very famous for going to jail because he moved posters, and I must specify not just of AIADMK, he has done that even with the DMK. His opposition is really to say that we don't want political parties to dictate to us what happens.
See, right now what we have is dictatorship. We don't have democracy. They say we have attained freedom, but it's a lie. What we have is called a very limited amount of freedom. You can go and vote, but after voting, what is the power that a citizen has in this country? Zero. And so that's why I'm saying we are still enslaved. The ruling has shifted from the Britishers to the looters. That's the difference, that's it. It has just shifted from there to him, that's it. And so corruption has become the norm. We are completely enslaved. We live in fear. We can't even question a local councillor. What kind of a democracy is that? If a population of 7 crore people cannot question the ruling government, then that is not democracy. The day when the rulers start fearing people, that is democracy. Till then, this is not democracy. This is dictatorship. And that is why we are fighting against the system, to bring true freedom to our people. And our fight is not just about the electoral politics wise. It is about the entire society. It's a transformation of the society.
I also have with me PC Balasubramaniam, who has authored books which are very, very popular on a superstar, should I say. And you actually may not vote, or you are cynical, should I say, about voting.
No, I won't say that I won't vote. Definitely have intention to vote because it's only once in 5 years you are made to feel very, very important. So I will definitely like to do that. But I'm apolitical and I don't have any political views. That's my view on this current system. Of course, if whatever Chandra Mohan says happens, definitely I will be one of the happiest among several lakhs of billions of people in this country, if that is going to happen.
Youngsters, perhaps going to be first-time voters, how important are elections to you? You have an idealistic view. You do believe that elections are important and the exercise of that vote is going to be important.
Yeah, the ruling party which comes into power is very important for the state, especially because the welfare of the people, the different developments that take place. So all of us, we've just finished 12th standard and we are really excited.
You have the right to vote.
Yeah, we have the right to vote, but we've not got our voter's ID. And the rest of us are like waiting to vote. So yeah, it's we're all just waiting to turn 18. So then that eligibility to vote and then to
have a say in what happens.
To have a say in what happens, exactly.
Our jobs, the opportunities that education offers here, educational opportunities, is that a concern? Or are you in a very insulated world? Right now, Tamil Nadu is talking about NEET and talking about many students not being allowed to, go for the state level kind of recruitments in terms of the medical exams. Are these concerns that youngsters are talking about?
Yeah, when you talk about Tamil Nadu education system, it's considered to be low in consideration to other states. And we are degraded when we go
apply for college, and when we say we're coming from Tamil Nadu and we're taking state board as like Tamil Nadu education, they degrade us. They say that's not up to the standards of CBSE, the central where, and they say that it's not enough. And even compare it to other states, being probably Karnataka has a better thing. Like my friend just applied to a college in Bangalore, and when she went to the interview, told her that your Tamil Nadu education system is very low, considering Karnataka has a better education system, and that was a very renowned university that she went and applied for.
Jayanti, you have been a journalist turned academician. You have seen what happens in Delhi for several years and then now in Chennai. As a voter, what are your expectations from when you are voting? And what are your issues? Because you have, everyone here has lived through the Chennai floods.
I think Chennai flood brought out the best in people. I mean, we didn't see the government so much as the people here trying to help, and that was really wonderful. I of course support Chandramohan in wanting to make state corruption free. But between Delhi and Chennai, the huge differences, at least basic public life, to a large extent has been made corruption free. And at top levels, we don't look at it. For example, something like the auto driver, he is going to go by the meter. Here, it's impossible. They're just waiting for you to loot you, And for example, something like the pavement. You have motorcycles parked on the pavement. You can't say anything to anyone. There are people who go without helmets. Women. There's no law enforcement at all, and people just don't care. And that's something so terrible.
Is elections a time to talk about these issues, or is it a time to show?
Because Chennai, Tamil Nadu is considered an advanced state. If it's an advanced state, then you want to see something advanced here. And you come, you have such a great opinion. They're mathematicians, they're engineers.
But yet at home, you realize no one actually speaks. It's almost as the choice is between only two political parties. You either have this or that, and people don't know what is better. And people are saying, the two leaves, I'm voting for it, or it's the rising sun. Is there nothing beyond it? And how do you want people to address this issue? Everyone, there is that frustration, certainly.
Here's the thing. First, we need to change the way how we look at politics. We only look at it in binaries, like either ADMK or DMK. That's the way how people are thinking. That mindset needs to change. If you go and ask somebody, who are you going to vote? They're saying, whichever party I feel is going to win, I'm going to vote. Nobody is saying, I'm going to vote for a good person. And people say, we don't have choices. That is absolute, that's a lie. How many of us have actually gone and checked who are the candidates who are standing in an election in my constituency? How many of us have done that? Over the years, there are so many independent candidates, so many activists, so many educationists, so many people have stood in elections in the hope of changing the system. That it is we, the people, couldn't care about those things. We have actually convinced ourselves that only DMK and ADMK are there in politics. And
so what is the way forward? What do you want?
The way forward, first go educate yourself about who are their candidates. Don't go blindly and vote for a symbol. The people whom these symbols are, standing for elections, they are murderers. There are so many murders over there. So many corrupt people are over there, and we don't see anything of it. We turn a blind eye to it. We just go and cast our vote. Stop that practice. First, understand who's a candidate. And if you don't find a good candidate in any of these political parties, and it is very likely you won't find any of them. Okay, go for independent candidates. And if you don't see any good independent candidates, then go and vote for Nota. Show your dissent that way. But don't sit and say there is no option. Okay, that's just an excuse for you as a citizen not doing your duty. I call them as intellectual idiots. That's who we are. We are a collective lot of intellectual idiots sitting and thinking, this is how the country is going to be. I can't do much about it. That's an excuse. That is not why our forefathers fought for to get us this freedom. To be this ignorant, to be this stupid. The political parties, their ambition is only to rule us, right? To make as much money as they can. And the two best ways of doing that is one, to keep us completely ignorant and illiterate about things. And number two, to keep us enslaved, to be in fear. So shed those two things. Get knowledgeable. Okay, understand what the political system is. Get involved. And number two, show some spine. You live in the land which gave people like Babu Chidambaran, Veerapande Kattamamman, Bharadiyar, and you live in a land like this and you're afraid of these politicians? You're afraid to ask questions? How long are you going to live like slaves? And then you complain that the politics are not going to change.
Are we living like slaves? Do you feel that? Do you feel that we don't really respond well?
Lots of us sometimes no one is good, but we should start researching, we should start finding. And we're not getting up and standing up for ourselves. That is where all the problems start. We should come forward first, then we can complain about the other.
And it's a good point that he told you to find a candidate who is in your constituency. We just can't go blindly regarding the symbols or something. We must know who is the candidate and where he is okay or not, and we can shift to the independent candidate. If it is, if you don't find anyone in the place, then you can finally go for it.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, talking about who's good, who's not good. Who are we to judge? Like, how will you assess? It is all about what is being reported in the media, in paper, or your neighborhood.
At least you can rule out the criminals, people who have...
Fine, let there be a certifying agency. You borrow 10,000 rupees, you go through so much of process, right, in this country. So for everybody who's going through this process of contesting an election, let there be a certifying agency which certifies, rates a person. Basis his experience, his contribution, his integrity, his record of criminal cases, whatever. Then we will know. Otherwise, it will be only hearsay. And talking about independent candidate, how many independent candidates who are won, okay, in any country, forget the state, have they not moved to any other political party? And even when they contest, how do they evaluate whether they can contest? They understand whether my caste, my community, 30% of the votes I get from this constituency, and then they contest it. Now, what is your intention again? So it is, see, we cannot say everybody is corrupt, we cannot say everybody is incompetent, and similarly we cannot say that who is not attached with all these major parties or demigods. It is not like that. Certainly it is not like that. There is certainly an agenda for every politician, and only the degree varies.
Only the degree varies.
There are good and bad politicians in every party.
Yeah, so the good and bad varies, but how do you make that judgment about who you're finally going to vote for? What is the yardstick that you're going to make? That perhaps, of course, depends on the voter. More coming up after a short break.